You are standing right now at the edge of something magnificent. Right at this very moment, whether you know it or not, there is a force working in your life that is greater than any circumstance you've ever faced. You might be sitting there thinking about what you've lost, the job that disappeared, the relationship that ended, the health you once had, the dream that seemed to slip through your fingers, the money that vanished, the time you feel you wasted. And I want to tell you something that might seem impossible to believe right now, but it's the absolute truth. What you've lost is making room for something better, something you cannot even conceive of at this moment. You see, we live in a universe that is not random, it's not chaotic, it's not punishing you. There is an intelligence that flows through everything, an organizing principle that some call God, some call Source, some call the universe, some call the Tao. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that this intelligence is always working for your highest good, always, even when it doesn't feel like it, especially when it doesn't feel like it. Think about the caterpillar for a moment. That caterpillar has to completely dissolve in the cocoon. Everything it knew as itself has to break down. If you could ask that caterpillar what's happening, it would probably tell you it's dying. It's losing everything. But we know better, don't we? We know that something extraordinary is happening. That caterpillar isn't dying. It's transforming. It's becoming something that can fly, something that can see the world from heights it never knew existed. That's exactly what's happening in your life right now. The loss you're experiencing isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter that is so much better than anything you could write for yourself. Because here's what I've learned after all these years of studying human potential and spiritual truth. Our human minds are limited. They can only see what's right in front of us. They can only want what they've already experienced or what they've seen someone else have. But that divine intelligence, that creative force that made the stars and the oceans and your beating heart, that force can see possibilities you cannot even fathom. When you lose something, your ego gets terrified. Your ego is that part of you that identifies with your possessions, your achievements, your relationships, your body, your story, and when any of those things change or disappear, the ego screams. It tells you that you're not safe. It tells you that you're not enough. It tells you that you'll never recover. But your ego is a liar. It's not who you really are. You are so much more than your circumstances. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are connected to the same power that grows the grass and turns acorns into oak trees. You didn't create your own heartbeat. You didn't write the instructions for your cells to divide and your blood to flow. There is a wisdom inside you and all around you that knows exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, and exactly how to bring it to you. But here's the thing. You have to get out of the way. You have to stop trying to figure out how it's all going to work. You have to stop trying to force things to happen according to your timeline. You have to surrender. And I know that word surrender sounds weak to a lot of people. They think surrender means giving up. But real surrender is the most powerful thing you can do. Surrender means trusting. It means having faith. It means knowing that there is a plan for you that is better than the plan you had for yourself. Look at your life honestly. Haven't some of the best things that ever happened to you come after the worst things? That job you lost that led you to a career you actually love. That relationship that ended that made space for the real love of your life. That failure that taught you lessons you never would have learned any other way. That illness that made you finally pay attention to your body and change your life. That financial loss that forced you to become creative and discover talents you didn't know you had. Every single loss contains the seed of something greater. But you have to water that seed with your faith. You have to nurture it with your positive thoughts. You have to protect it from the weeds of doubt and fear and resentment, because what you think about expands. What you focus on grows. If you spend all your time mourning what's gone, you miss the miracle that's trying to arrive. I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. Of course you need to grieve. Of course it hurts when you lose something or someone important. Feel it all. Cry if you need to cry. Be angry if you need to be angry. But don't set up camp there. Don't make a home in that grief and anger. Visit it, honor it, and then move forward. Because forward is where your good is waiting. Here's a powerful truth. God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, doesn't take things away from you. Life happens. Change is the only constant in this physical world. Everything is in motion. Everything is temporary. And sometimes things fall apart, not because you did something wrong, not because you're being punished, but because they're supposed to fall apart. Because something better is trying to come together. Think about it this way. If you're holding onto a rope and that rope is tied to a heavy weight that's dragging you down, what do you need to do? You need to let go. But when you're in the middle of holding on with all your might, letting go feels like losing. It feels like failure. It feels like death. But once you let go and you realize you can float, you can swim, you can move freely, you understand that letting go wasn't losing anything. It was gaining everything. The universe is always trying to give you what you truly need, not what your ego thinks it needs, not what society tells you that you should want, but what your soul came here to experience. And sometimes what your soul needs is the lessons that come from loss, the strength that comes from survival, the wisdom that comes from pain, the compassion that comes from suffering, the faith that comes from having nothing else to hold on to. You cannot become who you're meant to be while clinging to who you were. You cannot step into your greatness while you're stuffing yourself into a box that no longer fits. And sometimes the universe has to break that box. Sometimes it has to remove the things you're hiding behind so you can finally see yourself clearly. So you can finally remember that you are powerful beyond measure. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can stay stuck in the story of what you lost. You can play the victim. You can blame God or life or other people for what happened. You can become bitter and closed and hard, or you can choose to believe that something better is coming. You can choose to trust that there is meaning in this experience. You can choose to stay open to the miracle that is trying to unfold. And I'm telling you, when you make that choice, when you truly surrender and trust, the universe will move mountains for you. Doors will open that you didn't even know existed. People will appear in your life at exactly the right time. Opportunities will present themselves that seem almost too good to be true. Money will flow from unexpected sources. Healing will happen in ways that defy medical explanation. Love will find you when you stop looking for it. Peace will fill you when you stop fighting what is. But you have to do your part. You have to align yourself with that higher power. You have to raise your vibration. You have to change your thoughts, because your thoughts create your reality. If you think thoughts of lack, you'll experience lack. If you think thoughts of unworthiness, you'll feel unworthy. If you think thoughts of fear, you'll live in fear. But if you think thoughts of abundance, if you know in your bones that you are worthy, if you choose faith over fear, everything changes. Start every single day by connecting to that source within you. Before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you do anything else, take a few minutes to remember who you really are. You are not your bank account. You are not your job title. You are not your relationship status. You are not your past mistakes. You are a divine spark of the infinite. You are love itself in human form. You are here for a purpose that only you can fulfill. And then throughout your day, pay attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking about what you lost, gently redirect your mind to gratitude for what you have. When you catch yourself worrying about the future, bring yourself back to this present moment, because this moment is all you ever really have. When you catch yourself feeling like a victim, remind yourself that you are a creator. You are creating your experience with every thought you think and every word you speak. Start speaking to yourself the way God speaks to you, with love, with encouragement, with belief in your potential. Stop the negative self-talk. Stop calling yourself names. Stop saying you're too old or too young or too damaged or too broken. You are never too anything for God. You are exactly right for the plan that is unfolding in your life. And here's something really important. Let go of the need to know when or how your restoration will come. That's your ego again, trying to control everything. The ego wants guarantees. It wants timelines. It wants to see the whole staircase before it takes the first step. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith means you take the step even when you can't see the staircase. You trust that the ground will be there when your foot comes down. Your job is not to figure out how God is going to restore what you've lost. Your job is to stay in a state of readiness and openness. Your job is to keep your heart soft and your mind positive. Your job is to take inspired action when you feel guided to move. And inspired action feels different from forced action. Inspired action comes from a place of peace and knowing. Forced action comes from a place of fear and desperation. When you're connected to Source, when you're aligned with that divine intelligence, you'll feel nudges. You'll have ideas that seem to come out of nowhere. You'll meet someone randomly who has exactly the information you need. You'll open a book to the exact page with the exact message you needed to hear. You'll wake up with a solution to a problem you've been struggling with. These are not coincidences. These are the universe communicating with you, guiding you, showing you the way. But you have to be paying attention. You have to be present. You can't hear the whispers of guidance when your mind is full of noise and worry and regret. That's why meditation is so powerful. That's why spending time in nature is so healing. That's why silence is so important. You need to create space in your life for God to speak to you. And God speaks to you through your feelings. When something feels light and expansive and good, that's God saying yes. When something feels heavy and contracting and wrong, that's God saying not this way. Your feelings are your internal guidance system. Learn to trust them. Learn to honor them. Stop overriding them with your logical mind that thinks it knows better. Your logical mind is useful for certain things, but it cannot lead you to your highest good. Only your spirit can do that. Only that connection to source can do that. So give yourself permission to follow what feels right even when it doesn't make sense. Give yourself permission to turn down opportunities that look good on paper but feel wrong in your gut. Give yourself permission to say yes to things that scare you but excite you at the same time. The restoration that is coming to you will probably not look like what you lost. It will be better. It will be more aligned with who you've become through your loss. Because you're not the same person you were before. You've grown. You've expanded. You've learned. You've been humbled and broken open and rebuilt. And the new you is ready for blessings that the old you couldn't have handled. Think about that for a minute. Sometimes we lose things because we're not ready for what's trying to come. Sometimes we lose things because we need to become someone different before we can receive what's meant for us. The relationship had to end so you could learn to love yourself first. The money had to go so you could learn that your worth isn't tied to your wealth. The health crisis had to happen so you could learn to honor your body as the temple it is. The career had to disappear so you could find your true calling. Every loss is a course correction. Every ending is a redirection. The universe is always guiding you toward your highest path, even when it has to knock you off the wrong path to do it. And I know that can feel harsh. I know it can feel unfair. But life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Everything is conspiring in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. There's an old story about a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbor came and said, "Such bad luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day the horse came back and brought 3 wild horses with it. The neighbor said, "Such good luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day the farmer's son was trying to tame one of the wild horses and he fell and broke his leg. The neighbor said, "Such bad luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day the military came to the village to draft young men into the army, but they didn't take the farmer's son because his leg was broken. The neighbor said, "Such good luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe." You see, we never know what anything means in the moment it's happening. We judge everything as good or bad based on our limited perspective. But God sees the whole picture. God knows where this is all leading. God knows what you need to become and what needs to happen for you to get there. So stop judging your life. Stop deciding that this loss means you're cursed or unlucky or forgotten by God. You are none of those things. You are blessed beyond measure. You are exactly where you need to be. You are in the middle of your transformation. And transformation is never comfortable, but it's always worth it. I want you to start looking for evidence of God's presence in your life. Start noticing the ways you're being taken care of. The friend who called at exactly the right time. The bill that was less than you expected. The kind word from a stranger. The sunset that took your breath away. The idea that solved a problem. The energy you had when you thought you had none left. The way things worked out at the last minute. These are all signs that you're not alone. These are all proof that there is a force supporting you. And when you start to notice these things, when you start to acknowledge them and feel grateful for them, more of them will come. Because gratitude is the most powerful force in the universe. Gratitude tells God that you recognize the blessings. Gratitude tells the universe that you're ready for more. Gratitude shifts your vibration from lack to abundance instantaneously. So even if the only thing you can be grateful for right now is that you're breathing, start there. Be grateful for your breath. Be grateful for your beating heart. Be grateful that you're alive to experience this transformation. Be grateful that you're strong enough to handle this loss. Be grateful that there is a power greater than you that is working on your behalf, whether you can see it or not. And here's what will happen. As you practice gratitude, as you choose faith over fear, as you surrender the outcome and trust the process, you will start to feel different. You will start to feel lighter. You will start to feel hope stirring in your chest. You will start to feel connected to something bigger than yourself. You will start to feel loved in a way you've never felt loved before, because you'll feel the love of God. And that love is unconditional and infinite and always available to you. That love doesn't depend on your circumstances. That love doesn't care if you're rich or poor, healthy or sick, coupled or single, successful or struggling. That love is there because you exist. That love is your birthright. That love is who you are at your core. And when you really feel that love, when you really let it in, everything else becomes secondary. The loss doesn't hurt as much because you know you're held by something that can never be lost. And from that place of knowing you're loved, from that place of connection to Source, you will start to take different actions. You'll stop settling for less than you deserve. You'll stop tolerating situations and people that drain you. You'll stop living small to make others comfortable. You'll stop hiding your gifts because you're afraid of being judged. You'll start showing up as your authentic self. You'll start speaking your truth. You'll start following your heart. You'll start living the life you were meant to live. And as you do that, as you step into your power and your purpose, the restoration will come. But it won't just be a restoration of what you lost. It will be a complete upgrade of your entire life. You'll get back more than you lost. You'll become more than you were. You'll have a joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances. You'll have a peace that passes all understanding. You'll have a knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay because God is with you and God is for you and God is in you. The people who are meant to be in your life will show up. The opportunities that are meant for you will present themselves. The resources you need will appear. The healing will happen. The doors will open. The path will become clear. But you have to hold the vision. You have to keep the faith. You have to trust the timing. You have to do the inner work. Because here's the truth. The restoration isn't just about getting stuff back. It's about reclaiming yourself. It's about remembering who you are. It's about reconnecting with your source. It's about becoming whole, not because your circumstances are perfect, but because you realize you were never broken in the first place. You were just forgetting. You were just asleep. You were just believing the lies that the world told you about who you are and what you're worth. But now you're waking up. The loss was your wake-up call. The pain was your alarm clock. The emptiness was the space being created for fullness. The ending was the beginning. And you're right on time. You're exactly where you need to be. Everything is unfolding perfectly. So what do you do right now, today, in this moment? You make a decision. You decide that you're going to trust. You decide that you're going to believe that something better is coming. You decide that you're going to let go of the past and open yourself to the future. You decide that you're going to be grateful for what is instead of resentful about what isn't. You decide that you're going to see this loss as a gift even if you don't understand it yet. And then you take one small step. You don't have to have the whole plan figured out. You don't have to know how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be. You just take the next right step. Maybe that step is forgiving someone. Maybe that step is forgiving yourself. Maybe that step is applying for a new job. Maybe that step is ending a toxic relationship. Maybe that step is starting a meditation practice. Maybe that step is going to therapy. Maybe that step is simply getting out of bed and taking a shower. Whatever the next right step is, you know it in your heart. You feel it in your gut. Do that thing, and then when that step is complete, the next step will be revealed. And then the next, and then the next. And before you know it, you'll look back and you'll see how far you've come. You'll see how strong you became. You'll see how the universe was guiding you all along. You'll see how the loss was necessary. You'll see how everything worked together for your good. And here's the most beautiful part. Once you've been through this process, once you've experienced loss and restoration, once you've felt the presence of God carrying you through the darkness into the light, you become a light for others. You become living proof that it's possible to lose everything and still be okay. You become a testament to the power of faith. You become an example of resilience and trust and transformation. Your mess becomes your message. Your test becomes your testimony. Your pain becomes your purpose. And you realize that maybe the whole point of losing what you lost was so that you could help someone else who is losing what you lost. Maybe your restoration isn't just about you. Maybe it's about everyone whose life you'll touch because you went through this and came out the other side. Think about the people who have inspired you in your life. Think about the teachers and mentors and friends who have made a difference. Almost all of them have stories of loss. Almost all of them have been through hard times. Almost all of them have had to find faith when everything looked hopeless. That's what makes them credible. That's what makes their words powerful. They're not speaking from theory, they're speaking from experience. And that's what you're becoming. You're becoming someone with depth and wisdom and compassion. You're becoming someone who understands suffering and therefore can offer real comfort. You're becoming someone who has walked through fire and knows that you can't be destroyed. You're becoming someone who trusts God not because life is easy, but because you've seen God show up when life is hard. This is your hero's journey. Every great story has a part where the hero loses something, where the hero faces a trial, where the hero descends into darkness. But the hero always comes back transformed. The hero always gains something more valuable than what was lost. The hero always discovers an inner strength that was there all along, but had to be activated by adversity. You are the hero of your story. This is not the end. This is the middle. The best part is still coming. The restoration is on its way. God is working behind the scenes right now, arranging things in your favor, moving pieces into place, preparing blessings that will blow your mind. But you have to stay faithful. You have to keep going. You have to keep showing up for your life even when you don't feel like it. You have to keep choosing love over fear. You have to keep choosing gratitude over complaint. You have to keep choosing trust over control. You have to keep choosing to see yourself the way God sees you, perfect and whole and worthy and loved. And on the days when that feels impossible, when the grief is too heavy and the fear is too loud and the doubt is too strong, just breathe. Just be gentle with yourself. Just remember that this is all part of the process. Healing isn't linear. Faith isn't constant. You're human and you're going to have bad days. That's okay. That's allowed. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That doesn't mean the restoration isn't coming. It just means you need to rest. It means you need to be kind to yourself. It means you need to ask for help if you need it. It means you need to let yourself be held by the love that surrounds you, even if you can't feel it in the moment, because it's there. It's always there. God never leaves you. You might lose the awareness of God's presence, but the presence itself never goes anywhere. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply making it through another day. Sometimes the greatest victory is just surviving. Sometimes the greatest prayer is just help me, and that's enough. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. You just have to keep breathing and keep trusting that this too shall pass, because it will pass. This season of loss is temporary. This pain is not permanent. This chapter will end and a new chapter will begin. And that new chapter will be so good, it will be worth the wait. It will be worth the struggle. It will be worth every tear you cried and every sleepless night and every moment you thought you couldn't go on, but you did anyway. You are being prepared for something amazing. You are being stretched so you can hold more. You are being emptied so you can be filled with something better. You are being refined like gold in fire, and when this process is complete, you will shine brighter than you ever have before. So hold on. Keep the faith. Trust the process. Believe in the restoration. Know that God's got you. Know that you're not alone. Know that this is all happening for your highest good, even if you can't see it yet. Know that the best days of your life are still ahead of you. Know that your story is not over. Know that miracles are real and one is coming your way. You are loved. You are supported. You are guided. You are protected. You are blessed. And you are about to receive a restoration that will exceed your wildest expectations. God is about to restore what you lost in ways you can't even fathom right now. Ways that will make you fall to your knees in gratitude. Ways that will make you laugh at how you ever doubted. Ways that will make you realize that losing what you lost was the best thing that ever happened to you, because it led you here to this moment, to this knowing, to this version of yourself that is awake and aware and aligned with the infinite. Your time is coming. Your breakthrough is near. Your miracle is on its way. Stay ready. Stay open. Stay faithful. And watch what God does. Watch how everything comes together. Watch how the dots connect. Watch how the story unfolds. Watch how the restoration arrives in perfect timing, in perfect form, in perfect ways that only divine intelligence could orchestrate. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your testimony in the making. And years from now, you'll look back on this season of loss and you'll understand why it had to happen. You'll see the gift in it. You'll see the grace in it. You'll see how God was working all along. And you'll be grateful. So grateful. Because the restoration that is coming will be so much better than anything you lost. It will be beyond what you could ask or think or hope for. It will be proof that God is real and God is good and God keeps promises. And that's the truth. That's the promise. That's what I know with every fiber of my being. God will restore what you lost in ways you can't even begin to comprehend. So let go. Surrender, trust, believe, receive. Your restoration is already done. It's already yours. You just have to align yourself with it. And it's coming right now. In this very moment, the wheels are turning. The miracle is manifesting. Your new life is being born. Welcome it. Expect it. Know it. It's done.